Hi there guys, it's Joe. I'm actually here today because I wanted to construct an FAQ video about all the cards that I've painted and about some questions about the channel itself from you guys. And I wanted to answer some pretty popular questions about kind of tournament legality for cards, that kind of thing, as well as kind of progressing, telling you all about the progress of the channel and everything. So let's get right into it, shall we? First question is from Andrew Loer, forgive me if I completely mispronounce your name. It's saying, is there any way I could send you a card to have painted and signed, and if I did, how much would it cost me? Now this is a question I get a lot. And I would love to sit there and say yes to everybody and, you know, sit there and go, you send me all your cards, send me everything, and I'll try and get everything done. But honestly, it's very time consuming to try and do that many cards all at once. And when in terms of charging for it, it's very difficult to figure out how much this sort of thing is worth. You know, cards are, or specifically the artwork, is subjective. You know, you can't just say, oh, it costs this much, it's worth this. It's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. I mean, you could say that about all card games, realistically. I mean, they're all just bits of cardboard, realistically. However, with these in particular, you've got to think, well, how long did he take to do it? How much do I value this card at? As a buyer, how much do I value this card at? Generally speaking, I mean, I've had offers between sort of $15, $20 to like $40, $45, and that includes shipping and everything. So I mean, it's very difficult. If you have an idea of how much you would pay for one of my cards that, you know, you've seen examples of, I mean, you can, you know, check out down here the newest one that I've made, which is Thunder King the Kaiju, and I've really loved it. So if that's a card you're interested in picking up, then definitely leave a comment and see how much you think that these sorts of things are worth, because that way I can gauge how much people would want to pay for them, and therefore I could start shifting them to you guys, because I want you guys to have them, because they don't, you know, they're not doing much sitting in my house. Next question comes from John Lowbridge, who asks, do side frame driver, it would look really good in full art? Well, I was gonna say, you know, I would love to do every card that everybody wants me to do, but it's not easy. Also, are you only able to do commons and rares, or is there some way to do secret rares, etc.? Love the work, by the way, looks really good, keep it up. Well, thank you, John, for the nice comment. I always try and respond to everybody's comments when I get them, because you know, this kind of thing is the reason that I do the channel. I just love hearing from people, and I love doing things that entertain people. In terms of doing commons and rares, yeah, at the moment, it's, you know, it's pretty much all that I can do, for Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway. Well, for any game. Foils are very difficult to paint. It's because when you think about it, a foil card is glossy because it's foil. The paints that I use are matte. They are, you know, if you put matte kind of paint over the top of a glossy foil, you'll get kind of half and half and it will look naff. I'm trying to figure out the best way to remove foiling from cards, and I've used like 100% acetone to try and do it, rubbing alcohol, all sorts of things, and most of the time I just find that it ruins the card, and then I have to kind of restore it and then paint on it. It's a lot of effort to try and get it done. So at the moment I'm just doing commons and rares, but if you want to help me figure out how to make foils a thing, then I would love to hear from you. So please, like, leave a comment and or send me a message over on Facebook or Twitter, and I would love to hear from you. Next question comes from the King of Kyros, who says, wow, did you learn to paint somewhere, or were you born with this beautiful natural talent? Also, can you do the Thunder Kaiju next if you find it good? Well, it's one of the loveliest things that people can say, and one of the benefits of doing a channel like this is when people send me messages like this, it really, really does make me feel amazing and that I'm doing something really fun for people. I actually already stated this, but I am doing the Thunder Kaiju. I have already done the Thunder Kaiju. So again, if you want to see that, then you can check this. In terms of where I learnt to paint or whether I was born with it, I wouldn't say I was born with it. I think anybody can learn to do this kind of thing. Anyone can learn to draw, anyone can learn to paint. I studied art for a very long time. You know, I was very, academic when it came to painting, and I've always loved drawing and painting. I did actually consider, you know, doing portraits, which is what I was specialised in when it comes to drawing, on YouTube, because it was something that I thought I was very good at and I would love to share with people. If it's something you want to see, then let me know, and it'll be awesome to hear from you again. So yeah, I reckon that I studied very, very hard to get to the place that I'm at when it comes to artwork, and I would love to progress it further. I actually suck at digital art though, and that seems to be what everybody cares about these days. Like, being good with a pencil doesn't seem to matter all that much. but I would love to progress onto digital art so I could mix my fine art background with modern technology and just learn even more. It would be great. The next question comes from Seto Kaiba. Sure. I didn't realise you'd come out of the anime to come and talk to me. If the card is painted on like that, is it still tournament legal? Because it looks awesome. Now, this is a question that gets asked a lot, and I'm going to clear this up because it's something that gets asked every time I paint something. Generally speaking, the answer for Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be no, because it's very easy to manipulate people into believing that, you know, what you've got is a marked card, because it technically is. And a lot of people have argued that the weight of the card is what makes it not tournament legal. However, I find that a moot point, because I have weighed my cards with very, very, you know, good scales, and the weight difference between one of my cards and a regular version of that card is actually less than the difference between a super rare and a common. So I don't think weight is the issue. However, as somebody who has, I mean, it's been a while, but as somebody who has judged major events, I worked at YCS Brighton years ago, and I used to run a store where I would be judging every week. I would say no, because honestly, if someone else were to bring these sorts of things to me, I would, even if it was really good, I would have to decline it purely on the basis of the fact that it would cause arguments. Extra deck, it doesn't matter. It goes to you. Generally speaking, the answer is no, simply because you don't want to give a reason for your opponent to believe that you're cheating, because you're not. You know, and if you've got nothing to hide, then you shouldn't have a worry about doing it. It would be awesome if I could sit around and say, yes, my cards would be perfectly legal. In Magic, they are. You know, again, you have to confirm it with your head judge. And if same goes for Yu-Gi-Oh! If you want to kind of push for that, speak to your local judge and say, oh, hey, I picked up these cards from Joesephyr, or I made these myself. Can I use them in a tournament? If they say no, you would just have to accept it. But if they say yes, then fantastic. The next question comes from Maximilian Polly, who just simply types MTG/Pokemon. Now, I'm guessing that what he means by this is whether I'm going to start doing Magic the Gathering or Pokemon cards as full art paintings. And I'd love to. I've done Magic cards in the past, although it's been quite a while since I've done them because I've been out of the loop for Magic for ages. And honestly, I'd never really thought about doing Pokemon cards. There's some games that don't lend themselves very well to the idea of full arts. Vanguard and UFS come to mind because of the way their borders work, and the picture, with Vanguard, the picture is already kind of full art. It's difficult to, without just going over all the text and putting what's already there, it's kind of pointless. And the card is so glossy, you would notice it a mile away. And with UFS, because the picture is smaller, you don't really want to expand it too far, because the way that it's done is done like a landscape, and you just end up with like wall for half of the picture, so it just wouldn't really work. But I'd love to do Magic cards. I do really, really want to paint an Archangel Avacyn from front and back, and I would really like to do, if somebody finds me an Altaria on a Diancie picture that's not foil, that I can sit and paint, then I would happily sit and do that, because Altaria is my favourite Pokemon of all time. The last question that I'm going to be answering is from Ian Dingle, who says, nice video. What kind of videos do you plan for the future? More of the same, or do you plan to branch out into other avenues at all? Both would be my simple answer for that, and it's a question that I really wanted to address, actually, so I'm really pleased that this came up. Because I play competitive Street Fighter and Smash Bros. I do both of those, and I don't think there are many people that can sort of switch backwards and forwards between them. And I really enjoy both of them, and I love being part of communities and things like that. So I would love to progress more of that. I also write reviews for video games for Dark World Gaming, which I'll leave a link to in the description below, because you should definitely check their website out. But it doesn't mean I want to stop doing the paintings. I love doing them, and I really enjoy it, and I love providing you guys with something new, but I want to make my channel a little more diverse. Though the idea does scare me a little, because I've obviously seen a lot of YouTubers who are very diverse, and they'll do something that's not what their subscribers are used to, and then they just unsub straight away. So I'm just thinking, the reason that I haven't been doing that so far is due to hesitation, for that reason, but I'm saying it now because I don't want people to sit there and go, oh god, what's he doing? I mean, I'm also a makeup artist by trade, but I'm not going to sit here and post loads of makeup tutorials on this YouTube channel, because it's not what you came here to see. So yeah, that's going to be all of the questions that I answer today, though keep your questions coming, because I'm happy to do more of these kinds of videos, because I love interacting with you guys. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then feel free to do so, because it's awesome just to, kind of feel like I'm doing something good for people. and like this video if you want me to answer more questions from you guys or anything. And just, you know, share the video with your friends so they can see what kind of thing I'm all about. And again, I'm going to leave this link just here. I really would love you to check out my Thunder King Kaiju painting that I've just finished, as I think it's one of my favorites, and I would really love everyone to see it. So check that out, and thank you very much for all the questions that you've asked so far, and I'd love to hear from more of you guys. Thanks ever so much again. See you later.